We've been through some things. I am actually back on medication now, which is working really well. I was just on the wrong stuff then.
So I want to talk about your drinking, so it's a big thing of your life. Before we go into the...
Never drunk before, I don't know what he's talking about.
Before we go into some potential negatives of it, let's talk about any of the...
I'm a sober virgin, Matthew.
Yeah.
How dare you?
You are very sober, yeah.
And he walked past me, and I should have hit him really, shouldn't I? Why not? So I turned on the TV, and it's the Love Island final, and I recognised the girl, and it's the girl I've been talking to for God knows how long. Myself, I love booze, and I like to self-destruct.
How have you managed to do that while drinking so much? It's just something you got used to.
Yeah, it's called being a fully functioning alcoholic. But you're not fully functioning. You think you are. It's actually, once you come off drink for a couple of weeks, months, whatever, you actually realise you weren't fully functioning.
Is that going to make you happy though? Because obviously you've done all this before. So what makes you think that's going to be different in terms of, getting in sick shape again like you have been, getting the businesses pushing again? What's going to be different this time around to what you've done previously? Because you've done that before.
And I like to self-destruct and don't always think that I deserve what I'm getting. So when I'm actually doing it for someone else,
it's like a motivation to
absolutely, yeah.
Before we go on to that, yeah. So we touch on OnlyFans. Is it as lucrative as people think? So obviously back in the day, that good money.
It's lucrative, yeah. It's beyond lucrative.
I mean, you're going to do very well, mate, and I'm very excited to watch it. Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of the Peak Performer Program. We are with a special guest today, a good friend of mine called Rogan, and today we're going to interview him on a few things, which is business, fitness, and some more personal things. So, Rogan, if you'd like to introduce yourself, please.
My name is Rogan O'Connor. I am 35 years young, from the lovely little town of Stratford-upon-Avon, and I live between there and Marbella, which is where we are now. Known Matthew for longer than I care to remember. We've been through some things, and apparently I'm about to spill my beans all over him.
Yeah, so...
Sorry, is it too soon for that? Too soon for the innuendo?
So I want to start off, you've got quite an interesting story, so I think it'll be kind of... I was going to say inspirational, but it could be points. You've achieved a lot over your 35 years.
I guess so.
So I want to talk about kind of early life, how you got to where you are now. So obviously, if you want to talk about your backstory, where you're at now in terms of what you've done.
What, in terms of profession or?
Yeah, profession. So what did you do before you kind of went on TV, did things like that?
Do you know what? I worked in an office cold calling, Orange. Do you remember Orange, the phone thing? Yeah. So cold calling people for Orange contracts, and it was horrible. Like, it was the worst job ever. 9 to 5, calling people up that did not want to answer the phone to me, trying to blag them phone contracts, and I hated every second I was doing it. So when I got the opportunity to start fitness modeling, what was purely because my brother, Mr. Universe, was taking me to the gym. So I started getting into it, met people like Kirk Miller, some big fitness models, inspirational bodybuilders, whatever. And when you're in that environment, the gym just became life. And then when I realized I could make a living out of it, people were like, why don't you do a bit of fitness modeling? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? I was like, rather than call people up and get called a dickhead from 9 to 5, I decided to just take my top off and pout when in doubt, pout at the camera all day. So it became amazing. It wasn't like work. And then from that, fitness modeling turned into television work. Got my big break, if you want to call it that, with X on the Beach 10 years ago now.
Oh, wow.
I know, yeah.
Does it go back on? Is it even still on?
I think in America, maybe. But I did season 1 was Joss Mooney, who's obviously a very successful person. I'm sure most people that follow your channel will know who that is. Ross Warswick, who owns Couture Club. Yeah. Ashley Kane, everyone knows that that's like so. So they did the first season. They're all friends of mine, and so obviously the first season took off. They got asked by the producers, "Do you know anyone that would be good for this?" Being a dick on TV with lots of exes, and they went, "Yeah, we know a guy." So that's how I got my big break, should we call it, and became a Z-lister for a little while. And then I did so well, if you want to say that. During my stay, they invited me back for the next season, which had Megan McKenna, Stephen Bear.
Yeah. Have you seen his Instagram now?
No, I've seen things. I've seen things. Yeah, he's character.
Yeah,
his character for sure. Wild card, that one.
Yeah.
Also, he's ruined the Bear name.
Oh, I bet, yeah.
So this is the reason. He's not the sole reason, but like obviously
Your brand was,
my brand was Rogie Bear. My nan called me Rogie Bear growing up. Then my mates would start calling me. Then I was just called Bear. Started my brand Bearwear. My personal coaching was called Bear Muscle Coaching. Everything revolved around me being called Bear. Then Stephen Bear come along. Not a good reputation for the Bears. Kind of ruined the Bear name. And so now I'm just Rogan again because I can't be called Bear. He's ruined, like even polar bears are ashamed of that guy. So we were all just like, cool. Like, even the polar bears are like, yeah, no, I'm just Steve.
Would you speak to him again? Do you speak to him or not?
I do not. No, I don't think he speaks to anyone apart from himself. I don't want to come and hear the bits about people.
Let's
you know what I mean?
divert.
You know what I mean? Anyway, so X on the beach, and then from that, became the challenge. I ignored the call. I've got a couple of good stories actually.
So what is the challenge? Because obviously X on the beach is pretty obvious what that is. It's an X on the beach.
Yeah, so the challenge is, I didn't know at the time, never heard of it, never seen it. It's the biggest show on MTV America, and I think there's like 40 seasons or something like that now. So my first season was season 31. And you go on, there's like 36 people to start with. You battle each other. It could be a puzzle, it could be a race, it could be a fight. People get eliminated one by one, and then you vote people out like Big Brother kind of thing, and then you whittle it down until there's a winner at the end.
How do you do?
Why are you laughing? So the first season I went on, I got eliminated on the first day. Which I
watched that episode, you know. I remember you running up the girl scene.
Because Joss, my best mate, ended up winning the first challenge. Not the whole show, just the very first challenge on the first day. And it was a fucking marathon up a mouth.
I saw it.
And I'm a big guy now, right? So I'm like 98 kilo now. I was 112 kilo when I did that.
Yeah.
And they wanted me to do a marathon up a mountain.
Yeah.
I was like, I probably should have done my research, done a bit of jogging before I turned up. So that was bad. That did not go well for me. However, having said that, if I hadn't lost, when I then got the invite back a couple of years later, ended up winning the whole bloody show, Matthew.
Oh, well done.
I did. Thank you very much. And
I actually remember celebrating this with you in Dubai, I think.
Yeah.
We were at the pool. Or...
I mean, I'm still celebrating now. In like 4 years. So yeah, I need to calm down. But so the yeah, if I hadn't got eliminated first on the first one, then I wouldn't have won the second one. And I made the final after that as well. So it's, you know.
How's that changed your life in terms of X on the beach and the challenge? How's that changed your life in terms of finances, in terms of business, things like that?
X on the beach gave me a platform. Social media blew up. And it was before TikTok or anything like that, but my Instagram blew up. I was getting like 10, 20,000 followers a day. It was crazy. So then brand deals, I was doing PAs, which at the time I loved. I was 24, 25, getting paid a couple grand a night to go to a nightclub for 3-4 nights a week. And all I had to do was just get, at the time it was unbelievable. It was messy. Yeah, it was chaos, absolute chaos, just filth, just absolute filth. It's like, yeah.
Would you go back to it?
Excellent. I mean,
like the clubs and the...
No, I can't do it now, mate. I can't do it. I like watching films on the sofa in my pants with my dog. That's me now. Like, yeah, I'm old, man. I've lived
old.
No, but I've lived that life. I'm chill now. I'm not. You know, I still have a little party now and then. But I'm not like I was, and I couldn't do how I used to do, for sure.
Yeah, well, I feel like I know what you do now. I feel like if you did that, it's like the next level.
Yeah, I think, it's. I've had my time. I've enjoyed it, and
So what do you do now then? So obviously you went on TV. What went from that then? What propelled from there? So what did you kind of do? Start your businesses? Kind of what happened from that?
Yeah, so from, like I mentioned earlier, Bearwear clothing line just came naturally to me.
Yeah.
Started off doing it with me and Joss. Then he went off to just build a huge fitness empire, and so I just kind of took it on myself, and it was thriving for a while, and then I kind of took it for granted, didn't put the work in. I suffer, I don't know if you've noticed, with a thing called ADHD, so I find a new passion every other week, and So the clothing line lasted. I mean, it did 5-6 years, and I mean, I'm still rocking it.
Yeah.
And it may well have a rebirth at some point. But then I find something new. I decide I want to be the best personal coach in the world. Then I win the challenge and win $250,000, and go to Miami for a bit and forget I'm coaching people. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, I wouldn't do that now if anyone wants to sign up. But it just so my life has just been a bit chaotic, and I'm never consistent in what I do. So I've had a million. Jack of many trades, master of none is the perfect description for me, I think.
How have you found that in life then? So obviously 35 in terms of having that direction in life. How have you found that for yourself?
So I think when I was growing up, like when I was younger, the only person I knew with ADHD was one of my best friends, James, who's passed away now, but he was crazy. So he would always be expelled from school and like smashing stuff up, always. And he was diagnosed with ADHD. So when he was the only person I knew, now I think fucking half the population say they've got ADHD. There you go. Everyone's got it. Everyone's got it because it's easily diagnosed now, and it's like it kind of, when you've got something that you can't explain. Or I just used to get called weird and zingy because I would click my fingers like whoa. But now it's like it's easy to diagnose and know what's going on. So I never wanted to call myself ADHD. So I wasn't diagnosed till about 2 years ago.
Oh, okay.
And then when I tried medication, it didn't really work for me. And I am actually back on medication now, which is working really well. I was just on the wrong stuff then. So you've got to experiment a little bit with that, but it definitely helps with like my focus and drive and everything. So.
And where are you at now then? So obviously you said the businesses, where would you say the businesses are, sorry, now? Where are they in terms of what you've been doing?
So my main focus now is I'm getting my coaching up and going again, which just fits perfectly with me because I don't really drink too much now. I don't party, anything like that. Don't smile at me like that.
Oh yeah, we can do that bit again then.
I know.
Hey bro, he goes, I don't really drink much now, I just couldn't stop laughing. So again, I've got a...
No, it's good that you laugh. I'm being natural, like, don't, because I do.
The father smiled.
No, I smiled at you while I was saying it, because I knew you were going to smile. It's fine.
So I want to talk about your drinking, 'cause it's a big thing of your life. Before we go into
Never drunk before, I don't know what he's talking about.
Before we go into some potential negatives of it, let's talk about any of the...
I'm a sober virgin, Matthew.
Yeah.
How dare you?
You are very sober, yeah. I want to go into basically any funny stories or anything that's potentially like you regretted in the past potentially from drinking. Have you got anything?
Yeah. Well, yeah, firstly, can we talk about you? Bring this back, don't... So you are the only person when we lived in Dubai together.
5 years ago, by the way. You grew up in a long time in 5 years, but yeah. Go on.
You're a real person. You need to relate to your audience. You're the only person, and I love a beer more than anyone in the world, but you would have a beer and then we'd go train. Like, that's the one thing I couldn't do. As soon as we're finished, don't get me wrong, I'll have it instead of a protein shake, but you would nail a couple of beers and then we'd go train.
We used to sit in a fitness place, like an actual place. What was it called, that place where we used to go and have to go pull outside?
Train
Beach, right? Train Beach is basically the place where
place that was.
all the people in top shape, and you have food there all day, and you go to the gym twice, and me and him just floating in the pool drinking beers. Like, it's just, yeah, it was a weird time.
There's a story about actually, do you remember, and this is what, when I really, like, it kicked my ass back into shape, because there's a guy called, do you remember the guy, Andrea?
Yes, Andrea, the famous fitness guy.
Very famous guy, like Romania or something, yeah? So when we competed together at Miami Pro, when I won Miami Pro, yeah, that's right, I won. He came up to me and said, oh, you're my idol, you're the best physique I've ever seen, all this stuff, yeah? Cut to God knows how many years later, 10? No, 5 years later, something like that. He comes up to me at Train Beach. I was not in shape at all. He is now one of the most beautiful things you'll ever see. And he walked past me, and I should have hit him really, shouldn't I? He walked past me and grabbed my tit, and it was a tit, and went like that and went, what's this? And then just walked off. And I turned, do you not remember? I turned to you and I was like, did he just do that?
Yeah, you were fuming.
I was fuming. And then, but the good thing is, when we then trained at Benoos B1 gym every day, he was on the screens every day, so I was there like, yeah. So that really, that gave me a kick up the ass.
I actually remember that story. I actually remember being there and you were actually really angry.
Yeah.
I would have been angry as well.
I mean, I was, but like it all happened so fast, so I didn't do anything about it.
No, you didn't.
I'm a pussy.
And we just carried on drinking at the beach.
Maybe we should go find him. Anyway.
Have you got any stories that, obviously aside from the negative bits we're going to go into, so don't worry about that. Bob drinking. Is there anything that was kind of funny or that you regret from drinking as well, potentially?
I don't necessarily regret. I mean, I regret a lot of things. I was going to say I don't regret anything, but like, obviously everyone regrets things. People that say they don't regret anything, they're liars. Yeah. So there is a funny story. Is a bit fuck it, I'll say it. Why not? So once upon a time, this is how badly drinking got for me at one point. There was a big party in Manchester on New Year's Day. Everyone was going to. This was, I want to say, how many years ago was this? 7-8 years ago. Yeah, yeah, so a while ago. I don't know exactly. So it was a long time ago. So I had been doing a bit of TV, whatever, and I was drinking way too much, probably just getting carried away with things. But me and my friends were all planning a big party on New Year's Day in Manchester. And I was talking to this girl. We'd been talking back and forth. She was a bit of like an Instagram influencer, absolutely gorgeous. And we were talking for a few weeks, and I said like, "Oh, do you want to come to this party in Manchester on New Year's Day?" She was like, "Yeah, it'd be good to finally meet you." So I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm going with my friends." She was like, "I don't really know anyone that's going." And I was like, "Don't worry, you know me. Like, I'll be there with my friends. I'll see you there." She was like, "Oh yeah, it's like a 4-hour drive or train or whatever." And then I was like, "Yeah, just meet me there. I'll meet you. We'll have a great night." But this was New Year's Day. Keep in mind, we've got to get past New Year's Eve first. And I'm an alcoholic. So New Year's Eve was just like heavy. It was supposed to be a chilled one. Obviously it wasn't. It was New Year's Eve. Did not sleep. Went straight through into New Year's Day. Got to Manchester. Got to the party. Did my party trick at the time, which was to neck a bottle of wine in less than 3 seconds.
Wow.
Then a load of my friends missed it. So I did it again.
Fuck.
Then said girl that I'd been talking to and really liked for a long time.
Who was it, girl?
Pardon?
Does anyone know? Do we know the girl? Do we not?
No, you don't know her personally, I don't think. Anyway, she turns up and she's there, and as you can imagine, I'm a mess. I'm like, one of them, only way I was trying to dance. I remember, this is like the one thing I do remember, like, like those things that get blown around in the wind outside, like that's how I was dancing, just looking at her like a blur. That's the last thing I remember. The next day she messages me like, "I can't believe I come 4 or 5 hours, got a hotel on my own, came to see you. You couldn't even talk, you weren't coherent. I just left, blah, blah." I was like, "Please let me make it up to you." Carried on talking, lovely girl. I managed to somehow convince her that I'd make it up to her. However, the next day I was going away to film a challenge. So I said, "Look, I'm just going away to film a little TV show. I'll be back before you know it, and I'll take you out." Turns out that was the challenge that I won. So when you're away for the challenge, I was away for 10 weeks. No phone, no contact. So I don't think she thought I just disappeared, I suppose, but she knew I was doing TV. So I won the challenge, came back after a little bit of celebrating, and I messaged her, and she was like, "1 ticket," and I was like, "Oh, she's obviously blocked me or whatever." I'm talking to my mates about the challenge, and I was trying to get in touch with this girl. Anyway, I turned on the TV, and it's the Love Island final, and I recognised the girl, and it's the girl I've been talking to for God knows how long.
Oh, shit.
And it was, apparently I don't know if she won, but she was with this guy called Tommy Fury.
No, yeah.
Yeah, so that was Molly May.
Wow.
And I fucked it.
You have, yeah.
I mean, who knows what could happen, but yeah, so that was funny. So that was
Wow.
didn't really speak much after that.
Never.
I think she's got her life sorted out, to be fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, fair play to you. She probably did her a favour. So I mean, I could have ruined her life by not being the guy.
Yeah, she remembers it.
What could have happened? Yeah.
Quite memorable. Well, I want to talk about, since when did drinking start for you? Because I know it's a massive part of your life. I know we'll talk about the alcohol thing in a minute. But when did that actually start? Because I know in the UK, drinking's a big thing. Have you got that from being around so many people all the time? It's like, you know, partying a lot.
Yeah, I think without getting too deep, I'm Irish, like, so just blame that really. But then my family, I'm not going to go into it, but like my family have all struggled with some sort of addiction or drinking or whatever, and it's just always been a part of. Not blaming anyone. I'm not trying to take blame away from myself. I love booze and I like to self-destruct and probably need therapy to I'm not to do it here to delve into exactly why. But I've just always drunk, bro, and then I've used it as like a I suffer really bad, and people laugh when I say this, but social anxiety.
Yeah, I get it.
Like even going to the gym, like sometimes if I know it's going to be busy, I won't go because it just gets too much. But obviously, apart from you, you don't drink before the gym. But like going on a night out, whether you drink before or even like when I was modeling and stuff, I used to drink on the train on the way to London to do my castings to just try and be myself. But since I've stopped drinking as much, I'm not saying I'm teetotal or whatever, but I do like a few weeks, even a couple of months here and there where I don't drink at all. And the mental clarity, everything. When I thought I need to drink to be myself, I was so wrong. Like I couldn't have been, like I am myself when I don't drink, and I'm starting to realize that now. And I think it's just getting older, isn't it? Like, don't get me wrong, I still love an ice cold beer or on the beach when you're in Marbella after like a long hard day, you know. But at times in the last few years, I've used it as a tool to just because I get anxiety because things weren't going right for me. And I'd tackle that with alcohol.
Would you say that things going wrong for you potentially got worse from alcohol?
Yeah, it's a horrible cycle. You sit there in the evening, you obviously haven't drunk all day, but then you get horrible anxiety. But then that's come from probably drinking all night the night before. But then to tackle that, drink.
Yeah, I can relate to some of this because I've actually spoke about this on Instagram about I say drinking issues, but drinking a little bit more to get rid of anxiety and things, and becomes very normal for you. And then you get anxiety and you'll drink to get over it.
Yeah. What makes you bad makes you better, I used to say while I cracked open another beer.
Yes, that is true.
And this will take the edge off.
Yes. Yeah, and we make excuses as to like, why are we doing it, justifying it.
Yeah.
But I was finding it was destroying certain things in my life, like relationships, business, and things. How does that impact you? Because you're 35 now, and obviously you've drank for a long time, but you've also been very successful in stuff you've done. How have you managed to do that while drinking so much? It's just something you got used to.
Yeah, it's called being a fully functioning alcoholic, but you're not fully functioning. You think you are. It's actually once you come off drink for a couple of weeks, months, whatever, you actually realise you weren't fully functioning. You were half functioning at best. And once you realise that, it helps a lot. So like I said, I have a couple of drinks here and there now. But I'd love to just not drink at all, to be honest with you. But
Why? Have you been to see someone? Have you ever? I've
had hypnotherapy. I've had a lot of things. Doesn't seem to work. It's just. I know this sounds bad because therapy works, hypnotherapy works, all these things work. But I know this. I'll get backlash for saying this, but it's all down to you. It's all down to your mental strength, and it's like you make the decision whether you're going to drink or not, and it's whether you're strong enough to not drink. And sometimes I haven't been, and that's on me, and I can't blame anyone else. I can't blame anything that's happened, trauma, things I've been through, breakups, things going wrong, because you can just learn to deal with those things in other ways and battle through them, or you can turn to booze, which is what I've always done. And it's only recently that I've started to realize that a lot of things, relationships, work, everything is broken down because of alcohol.
And what's been the realization? Because I know you said that you were a functional alcoholic, because it's a big thing to say that, obviously in a positive way for you, so at least you acknowledge it, but then it's hard. It's quite a big thing to say.
I was in a long-term relationship, as you know, for like over 4 years. I know, and that falling apart was, don't get me wrong, it was pretty much my decision to end the relationship, but it was because I just haven't been myself. and I haven't been happy, and I've just dealt with it by drinking. So I just want to be on my own for a little bit to try and be myself again. And because if I can't make myself happy, I definitely can't make someone else happy. So I need to rebuild myself, and that's what I've been doing recently, and rebuild my character, and not just drink every time I get upset or depressed or anything like that. So it's yeah, the breaking down a relationship is definitely a big trigger.
Would you say, you know, is what it is, but would you say that the relationship would still be going if you probably didn't drink?
I don't know. I don't know.
It's obviously drinking a lot does fog your clarity, doesn't it? And kind of your sense of who you are and like your identity in a way, I feel.
Yeah, potentially. I don't know. Hard to say.
We're gonna go with that one. Okay, so when we talk about drinking, then, so what are you doing to kind of stop drinking as much then? Because ultimately, like, what's your plan of action? Might be interested.
Do you know what as well? Like, just going back to what's triggered a few things. It's like watching my friends, like yourself, Joss, for example. So many of my friends just absolutely thriving, just killing it, making stupid money, driving Lambos, just living the dream. And I don't
have a Lambo, by the way, not yet.
Not yet, but I'm sure you will do if you want one, Matt. You're smashing life, and you're an inspiration, and so are a lot of my friends. And just seeing that happen, and I'm just left in the dust a little bit recently, and it's only my fault. I can't blame anyone else. For a while, I was like, it's, you know, just trying to blame other things, always blaming someone else, always blaming my situation, whatever. But it's all down to me. But I've done things before where I've won the challenge. I've won boxing fights, even though I can't fight my way up a paper bag. I've won bodybuilding competitions when I was an alcoholic. I've done all these things before, so I know I can. And so that's what I'm thriving to do again. You know, I'm really excited about my next chapter and about pushing forward with work. I'm looking to get in the best shape of my life as well. And I've been in pretty good nick a few times. So that's what I'm really looking forward to, especially in my ripe old age.
You 35? That's literally, so men are actually peak between 31 and 42. Do you actually in the middle of this?
Oh, really?
So it's actually good for you. So I know you're going for this shit bit now, but
okay, cool.
Pushing
I'm glad you told me that, because I thought my peak was like late 20s.
No. So most men make the most amount of money between 31 and 41. Well, most better looking at 31 to 41. So that's at the age where you're prime.
Will you tell that to my lower back, please?
Oh,
I struggle to get out of bed in the morning.
With your lower back,
mate. I've got 2 bulging discs from playing rugby from when I was like 23. So I've dealt with it since then, but it doesn't get any better.
I remember that in Dubai. You just had the bad back constantly.
Mate, it's horrible. But you just have to deal with it.
Yeah.
I've got physio later, so
gonna
get bent up like a pretzel.
So in terms of, if we talk about the what you do differently then, in terms of, would you have spoke to someone sooner, do you reckon? Because obviously you talk about it now quite openly in terms of the, you know, being an alcoholic a little bit. Would you, when you were young, because I feel like with men especially, it's hard to open up a lot. Is it something you felt like you couldn't do, or you just didn't think you needed to do?
Yeah, I think with, like, people call it like toxic masculinity or whatever, but like my family's quite like a tough Irish kind of thing. My brother's like Mr. Universe, bit of a geezer, do you know what I mean? Just like call me a maggot if I couldn't lift the weights in the gym, like slap donuts out of my hand when I was dieting, and just like I'm kind of built to be like a geezer, not really talk about my feelings and stuff like that. So and also like my growing up as a rugby player and Jack the Lads and all this, the jock of the high school and all this. So it's like drinking's always been like part of it. Do you know what I mean? Just being a alpha, if you want to call it that, or top geezer, trying to be that anyway. It's always just come hand in hand. So it's like, oh, why are you not drinking, you pussy? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. I wouldn't say that, but for example, people have said that to me when I go out and I don't. So I feel like for me, when I don't drink, I just have to lock myself away. But that's just part of it. Because if you don't know your limits and you're an animal,
you're not. Something I've started to learn to do is just have a couple and leave. Whereas we used to be like, we have to do it till we get absolutely.
I'm getting better at that.
Yeah.
I'm getting better at that for sure. But even then, if I'm just having a couple and leaving, I don't enjoy the couple really. So I might just rather not do it. Yeah. I'm learning now is to say no which I've always been really bad at. If it's someone's birthday, someone's stag do, someone's aunt's dog is just done a really good poo, I'm there. Do you know what I mean? Like anything, any excuse for partying, I'm there. But I'm like people pleaser. I don't ever want to let someone down. But then, am I, or do I just want to go party? And do you know what I mean? So it's
subconsciously you probably know it's letting yourself down a little bit because you know what you're going to do. Like you know what's going to be next from going.
One thing that I've definitely learned recently is to just it's not even being selfish, but just put myself first, because that's something that I haven't done for a long time. And so doing that and being okay with saying no, because I don't get FOMO. If I see people in Ibiza now and just like crammed up like sardines in a club, which I used to live for, I look at it now and it just looks, it's not for me, you know what I mean? So a cup of tea and a bicky with the dog watching match today is absolutely fine for me. So it's growing up, essentially.
Yeah. You're starting to change what you like, but then how's it impacted your physique then? So like do you feel like it's let you down a lot? Do you feel like it's something that you could get away with more when you're younger?
Yeah, you get away with it when you're younger. I've always been like this, and I was shredded wheat growing up. Do you know what's funny? My brother said to me once, do you know Sergi Constant? Yeah. Zeus. We and him good pals as well. I call him the king of aesthetics, and he calls me the king of beer. But Max, him, and my brother Max were talking once, and Max just looked at me and went, "That's what you'd look like if you didn't party." And I was like, "Yeah." Don't keep in mind, actually, Sergi does party, but still. But yeah, it's just I've always been just about enough, but never.
So next, like
never the next level, which never gone Super Saiyan, you know, which I've always wanted to. So hopefully that's when did you say a peak? About now? Got a few more years
between that and then testosterone starts to drop.
I'll get on the TRT. That's fine.
Yeah.
Pop that in. So I'm excited for what the future holds. You know, growing up doesn't always mean slowing down.
So when you touched on obviously the alcohol, because it's a big thing for men, obviously, you know, especially this generation. Would you say it's come from just generational drinking, as in like just something you got used to in terms of, you know, rugby, that, or is it something that you've carried on based off the fact that you've been unhappy?
Both. Yeah. No, well said. Yeah. So it's just kind of always been around my environment, and it's who you choose to hang around with and whatever. It's always been in your environment, and then it's drinking to then solve other problems like anxiety, like being nervous for something, like being upset, you know. Alcohol's always
it's a good numbing technique. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, and it doesn't need to be. But yeah, I think people, like when we were young, we would just get smashed all the time. Apparently, young people don't drink too much anymore. They shag more.
Okay,
but drink less.
That was the
so fair play to them.
That's what we used to do to shag. So
yeah, exactly. They don't need it. They're just vaping while they're shagging now, Baron.
Well, in terms of like, I'm gonna stop talking about the alcohol thing, but
cool, good.
Yeah, I thought you would like that. Has no one ever said anything to you? Because I feel like I've said it to you a couple of times about alcohol. Has anyone said? Because obviously when I was drinking a lot, it was my parents and my kind of closer friends were saying like, "Bro, you are drinking a lot. Like you're changing." Has anyone said that to you?
I'm very good at hiding it. Well, I'm not very good at hiding drink. I handle drink really well.
You do. Tell me.
Whereas I'm not saying you don't, but like when we go out and get drunk, I've seen you do change quite a lot.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't seem to.
You don't. You actually stay. One time, basically, we got drunk last year. I was finished to meet a couple of drinks. And I know when I meet Rogan, it's never a couple of drinks from my head. I know it's going to happen, but I had like an important event the next day. Anyway, when I get drunk, you can tell I'm drunk. With him, he looks the exact same, and you'll carry on drinking as if like we've just started drinking.
Yeah.
And it's kind of
that's just experience. It's the same with anything. It's because I drink
drunk at that point. Like you actually quite drunk.
I don't know whether it's just practice or whatever. Like I think when you're built into something and you do it so much, you're very good at hiding it. I just don't seem to change too much when I'm drunk until I'm, you know, obliterated, obviously. But whereas some people have a drink and you go, oh, someone's had a shandy. But like with me, whether it's my tolerance from drinking so much or I don't know. Also, I think, and I've discovered this recently when I've stopped drinking, when I've had a drink, I kind of think about what I'm going to say a lot more because I think, oh, you've had a drink, be careful, don't want to upset someone. Whereas when I am not drinking or whatever, not horrible, but I'll just say how I feel because I don't have anything. I don't have that thing in the back of my head going, you shouldn't say that, you've had a drink. So I think I actually, over the years, I've built up a thing where I'm more like, I think about what I'm going to say and try not to upset
Quite
anyone.
tiring though.
I guess so, but it just happens subconsciously. It's not like,
But the anxiety then, where's that stem from? Because I've got anxiety and I actually know, like, I actually hate going to gyms that are busy. I hate being around loads of people. If I don't know the group, for example, and say you said, come meet me, I'd be anxious to go there.
oh, same, I wouldn't do it.
No. So how would you get around that? Because for me now, I just remove myself completely from those social environments.
Same.
Yeah.
Same. I'm so, and like I said, growing up, whatever, but I just have, like, I don't get FOMO anymore. That was the thing, FOMO. And then you see it on Instagram stories, everyone's having a good time. I wish I was there. Or whatever. Don't get that anymore. I'm so happy with my dog, cuddled up, just like, as long as I've got my dog and I'm
How old are you now?
3.
Oh, I see.
I love him so much.
I'm going to put a picture on somewhere.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah.
Please do. He's the best. So yeah, I'm over the FOMO part, which I think is a big thing. So,
and then what's next for you then? And then we'll pause the notes. So you're dealing with kind of the the alcohol thing now. What's next for you? Because you've got big goals. From I don't think you just did a line on the table.
Sorry, hay fever. Cut it. What's next for me? I want to get in the best shape of my life. Like I said, I've been in some good nicks, so that's exciting. And because my life, and this is sad really, and people have always said to me, what are you going to do when the looks fade? And I've always been like, but that's actually a thing now. I need to start thinking about that. I actually need to start thinking about that. But when I'm in shape, when I'm physically in shape, and I'm getting there, I've got a lot of work to do, but then my work revolves around that. So I do Dream Boys, I do social media, I do OnlyFans, everything that I do, modeling, TV work, everything revolves around me looking good. So when I'm in, and also when I feel I look good, I act good.
I radiate confidence.
I radiate confidence. I'm a different person. So I'm working on that, and then everything just falls into place when that happens. And for a long time, partly due to I wasn't happy in a relationship, I was drinking too much, I was just expecting things to happen for me.
Is that because probably when you were younger, they kind of were kind of thing?
Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad to admit, but everything's just always fallen into my lap. I've been very lucky, partly because I manifest it, and partly because I do work hard at things. But also, yeah, I've never really. Do you know what I mean? I've, like I said about the 9 to 5, hated it, found a solution.
And it kind of jumped from that.
Yeah. So and then for the last few years, it's like, I've got to grow up. Things don't, or are not anymore, going to fall into my lap. So
it's like going to make you happy though, because obviously you've done all this before. So what makes you think that's going to be different in terms of, getting in sick shape again like you have been, getting the businesses pushing again? What's going to be different this time around to what you've done previously? Because you've done that before.
I was happy then, and I just needed to keep it going and not be complacent, and not rest on my laurels. So doing it again, making it consistent, and then hopefully finding a little family. Not finding a family, stealing them. Just stealing someone's family. Finding a nice girl and stuff. Obviously, it's a bit soon for me. I've just got out of a long-term relationship, but eventually, having a family, building one, making one, not stealing one.
Yes,
then. Yeah, that would be nice. And then it'll give me something to work for as well. Because sometimes when I'm doing stuff at the moment, I'm doing it for myself, and I like to self-destruct and don't always think that I deserve what I'm getting. So when I'm actually doing it for someone else,
it's like a motivation to
absolutely, yeah.
Before we go on to that, OnlyFans. So obviously you've been doing that for a long time. How's that been? That kind of, because you've got a few businesses. How's that been, OnlyFans? Because I feel like a lot of men do it now, but maybe 5-6 years ago, it wasn't as many men. It was a lot more women orientated. Yeah, so we touch on OnlyFans. Is it as lucrative as people think? So obviously back in the day for men, it wasn't as many men doing it. Seems to be loads of people doing it now, same with women. So is it, that good money?
It's lucrative, yeah. It's beyond lucrative. Yeah. I mean, personally, yes, but then you just look at like the Bop House or whatever's going on in America, the girls are making like $2 million a month. It's a lot of horny men out there. Not me, but yeah, so when it first come out, I was the same thing I was posting on Instagram, topless pictures, because I was thirst trapping, you know how we do.
Yeah.
Putting the same thing on OnlyFans, but charging people to look at it, slightly different angle to Instagram or whatever back in the day. You know, mate, some of the months were making a lot of money.
How much is a lot of money? Just you'd have to give the exact figure, but like a ballpark.
A lot of money. Yeah, you're talking like 20K a month. I know girls are making 2 million a month in America. They're going to be like sniggering at me saying this, but for me, for posting the same shit I was posting on Instagram, but posting it on only 20K, but it hit right at the same time that I was fresh off TV.
So perfect.
So it was like my following was blowing up, and then it was like I was a stripper anyway. It wasn't like I was doing anything different. People were just paying to see it. So as things go on, like naturally, the money starts dying down, and you're like, oh, what have I got to do now? Take my trousers off, take my panties off. So as it's gone on, it's developed like that, but it's still very lucrative. But yeah, everyone's doing it now, so it's kind of. And I think lockdown was big for it as well, because everyone was just sat at home wanking.
Yeah, so it's perfect for extra wank videos, I guess.
You need to do, yeah.
And you're still doing it for like full time? Is it like a full time thing for you?
I have many fingers in many pies, but it'd be silly to just not do it. Because like I said, I'm naked whenever I can be. You know, I hate putting clothes on. The fact that you made me wear this top is really upset me. You know, I'm always in the gym. I'm always stripping on stage with Dream Boys. So it's just like, if I didn't, it'd be silly. It's like, what? I'm going to strip on stage with Dream Boys and get naked every night, but I'm not going to
sell it.
Yeah, Vans and make a few bags a month. Do you know what I mean? So don't get me wrong, it's not like it used to be,
but it still pays bills and more kind of thing.
And then I get, for some people it's like selling your soul or whatever. If you've got a wife and a kids and you're like gay baiting and like shit like that, it can be a bit weird. So I try and stay away from like the cringe stuff and like that kind of thing, but I love getting naked and taking pictures. So,
well, the final thing from that is Dream Boys. Obviously, this is something you were doing previously, wasn't it? Anyway,
I've been a Dream Boy since I was 22 years old.
Okay, so if no one knows what that is, it's basically stripping. So
it is the biggest male strip show in Europe. Yeah,
yeah. I actually got interviewed for that. I didn't go. I bottled it because I couldn't dance.
Don't lie. We didn't let you join.
Yes, you didn't.
I saw you audition. It was terrible.
Imagine being here to that and trying to dance. So yeah, I didn't go. They sent me a message on Instagram and I was like, wow. And then I realised you could all dance.
You could have been a Dream Boy, mate. I can't dance to save my life.
Yeah, but you wing it really well.
I've been doing it for 13 years. No one's realised. Yeah. No one's caught on the fact that I can't dance yet. So don't tell anyone.
You literally go on the stage just go like that and rip your top off and stuff. And then
I have actually special moves.
Yeah.
Ripping a vest off, wiggling the. I got a good bum wiggle. I won't do it now.
I'll just be in
time other place. Yeah, but I got a little Beyonce thing that I do. I've got a few special. I'm a performer rather than a dancer. You know.
Yeah.
You've got the Dream Boys, the best dancers in the world. You've got people spinning on their heads, doing backflips, naked backflips sometimes, and then I just kind of mince around in the middle and rip my top off. No one realizes that I'm not an amazing dancer as well. So yeah, I feel like I've ruined the illusion now. They're gonna watch and be like,
okay,
hang on,
they're gonna actually watch this,
isn't it? Yeah, but so I've been a Dream Boy for a long time, and now I've brought it to Marbella.
Nice. Talk a little bit more about that.
So it's we did a little trial run last year, went really well, and now. What day are we on now? Wednesday. So in 2 days' time, we have our first big Dream Boys Marbella show, and then it's gonna. We've got about 12 dates throughout the summer on Friday nights, and it's doing touch wood. Tickets are flying, and we're doing really well. So very exciting, yeah.
So what are you gonna do? Are you gonna base more of your life here then? Obviously, if you're here.
I mean, I lived here for a year, and then so I'm very familiar with the place and people and everything else. So I love it here, but and a lot of people will be like, "You're mad," but I love living in the UK. It's just, I know.
I can't relate to that. Yeah.
Do you know what? It's just, I travel with Dream Boys, go around the world. We're doing Asia, we're doing France, but like I travel around Europe, right? I've done tours of Australia. I go around the world whenever I want. And obviously I work remotely with my coach and everything else, and I can work wherever. So I go. I mean, we lived in Dubai together for months, didn't we? Like I've done Morocco for months, Thailand for 6 months, Australia for a year. So it's like I go everywhere anyway. I love coming back to my little bubble in the UK. But do you know what it is? Because when I'm away, like when we're in Marbella, I want to, like, sun's out, all my friends are jumping.
You get into a mood.
Whereas in the UK, I lock myself into my little bubble. I go on hikes with my dog. I train my ass off, and I work, and I just like being in that routine.
Yeah, you've got structure.
As men and as humans, we're creatures of habit.
I agree.
And so when I'm locked in, I'm locked in. So when I come away, I can kind of loosen up a little bit, just a little bit.
Yeah.
But so I love going back to it. And then it's like friends and family and normality, you know?
Well,
So that's how I feel. I know a lot of people would disagree and hate the UK and whatever else, but it's home.
it's home for you. Well, have you got any final things to say to anyone then that's potentially listening, either going through anxiety, anything to do with alcohol, anything to do with business, just anything that could potentially, you know, make them feel or help them in some way?
Yeah, I mean, it's not too long ago, I really didn't think I would get out of the hole I was in. Just in a relationship, and it's nothing to do with the person I was in a relationship with, it was me. But I was in a relationship where I was not happy, financially in the worst place in my life, drinking every day to numb my problems, and just in a horrible place. And I honestly, hand on heart, did not think I'd ever get out of that. And just waking up each day, I make my little lists. That's kind of an ADHD thing that I do.
Yeah, I've got that.
But making my list and just one foot in front of the other, getting outside, getting in the sunshine, training, whether it's going for a walk, going to the gym, whatever, just doing these things and just ticking off little goals. It's the small wins, and you put that together, and my whole like my clarity, everything about my life now has just completely changed, and my thoughts on moving forward and just being myself and being in a different place is incredible now. So hopefully people can listen to this and feel that they can do the same, because I'm definitely a different man to what I was not too long ago. So yeah.
Well, I'm very proud of you anyway, as a friend as well. And obviously I've looked up to you for years as well. Regardless, you're going through hard times. It's you know, you're going through it, and that's how you've become who you are. You're just going to keep pushing.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's yeah, the rain that makes you appreciate the sun.
Yes. And you're going to do very well, mate, and I'm very excited to watch it. So yeah, thank you for being on.
Thank you, mate. Hopefully we'll do it again, and I'll be in an even better place.
That's the plan. Where can people find you if they want to, you know, have a little stalky profile, have a little follow, support you?
Rogue Snaps on Instagram. I need to change that, really. I was thinking I made that when I was like 12.
Yeah, Rogue Snaps.
Rogue Snaps. Or Dream Boys Marbella is my new show.
Yes,
I'll
tag them.
So, but then just type in Rogan O'Connor to Google and ignore the north.
Straight to
Yeah, that's a plug. That's a shameless plug. We're joking. Then you can find me on everything. So yeah, it's Rogan O'Connor or Rogue Snaps on Instagram.
Yeah, I'll attach all in the caption as well. But yeah, thanks for being on, Rev. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and see you in the next one.